All right, welcome back, good people. On this episode, I want to talk about how it makes you feel. I'm going to title this episode, How It Makes You Feel. I guess a better phrase would be the way it makes you feel. But I want to, for this episode, go with how it makes you feel. Because once you decide to create your podcast and get everything where all the wheels are moving and you're actually generating a little revenue, you have to understand that that's going to make you feel a certain kind of way, right? How do you think that is? What do you think that feeling is? I mean, I know you see other podcast shows like Vlad TV, Joe Rogan podcast, or the Breakfast Club, and these people have amassed a large following, very, very large following. But it took time, right? And that's good because that time is a gatekeeper for a lot of things, right? If it's going to take too long, a lot of us will say, oh, I'm not for that time thing. I need mine instantly, right? And that's not what this is. This is not a get rich quick. This is deciding that you want to become part of this world because I know that you know that podcasts are becoming more and more popular every day. You see them popular everywhere. Now there are more people you see who are advertising about how to start your podcast, right? Which it's just a transition. It's like cassettes, CDs, DVDs, moving online. Technology is like that. That's why you have to get in the game. You can't sit around and expect things not to change. Things will change, and they're changing quickly. And if you're doing something, let me say this because I want this episode to come from what I like to call my personal development part of information I like to share, because you're going to feel a different way. It's going to make you identify different things differently because other people will start to look at you in a different light. And it's like they'll be boosting you, who you are, or what you stand for, or what you represent. Your audience will begin to boost that. One of the ways they'll begin to support you financially because they'll buy the things that you recommend and they'll increase your revenue. And that's going to probably increase your lifestyle, which is one of my objectives because I like to live a certain way, right? And I'm sure you do as well. But I also like to give. But there are ways you can combine the two. And when you're able to do that, then you have a win-win situation, especially if what you're giving is truly what you want, what I call from the heart. You really are giving it with the intentions of helping, right? And not so much even for the money, because you would do this without the money. Because for years I did it without the money. No money. As a matter of fact, it was all my expense going into it. 2-3 years I had to go through that. I don't regret it, not 1 minute, but because it allowed me to be here where I am today. It's put me in a position where, I can help people when people need help, if I choose to help, and I can guide people when they need some guidance. And it allows me to wear several different hats because I don't just talk about this, I actually do it. And see, when you do something, you give the universe something to promote. You give the God that we pray to something to bless, right? That's how it works. If you just talk about it, I'm going to, right? And you're not doing anything, then you're not going to get the blessing that you want. Let me tell you a quick story. I was listening to one of the people I studied this weekend. His name is Dan Locke. He has a podcast because what I do is when I decide I'm going to do something, I begin to know the players in the game, right? I begin to research their stuff and I subscribe to their channels and I listen to their stuff, right? Because listen, what you know right now won't get you there. You have to gain more knowledge. You have to learn more. But he was giving this analogy. He was saying that he has a big aquarium, and one of the fish seemed like it was sick, right? And when it was swimming around, it wasn't swimming around with the same vigor and, giddy up that he would normally see. So he called in the people who do the aquarium setups and everything. And they came in, and he was asking, so what should I do? Should I get this to give the fish a certain type of vitamin, or should I do this to give the fish a certain type of injection? What can I do to get that fish working like it needs to be working again? And the aquarium guy said, you don't need to do any of that. You need to change the water. You need to adjust the water. In other words, think about yourself as the fish, and your water is your surroundings. You need to change your surroundings because your surroundings isn't conducive to what you want. Your surroundings will keep you where you are. And that analogy I thought was profound because I see that in a lot of people. A lot of people tell me they want to do this, they want to do that, but they won't leave that comfort of the surroundings that they like, because you have to. It's absolutely essential that you leave that. Now, you can dabble back and forth. Like, if you like to do this, you can do that every now and then. But now you have to have a bigger mindset. You have to focus on something bigger, something better, something that's going to separate you from that, right? Because what you're doing there on that level, in that comfort zone, anybody can do. Anybody can be comfortable. It's when you are able to realize how it makes you feel and how you deal with what you're feeling. Because sometimes that feeling will scare you, and it'll scare you back to the comfort zone. And there is no growth in the comfort zone. So you can listen all you want, you can talk all you want, but the people that you're talking to about what you're going to do, they're watching what you're doing. And guess what they're saying? Right, the same thing I'm saying. He's not going to do nothing, or she's not going to do nothing. They just talk. Meanwhile, you are witnessing people like myself do things, move things, and you're seeing an effect that you would like for yourself. And guess what that makes you become? Right, a hater. Because you are jealous now of someone who's taking action when you wouldn't take action and reap the benefits of your hard work, right? But that's okay, because that's going to happen to everyone. And whenever you decide that you are ready to take action, it's coming. It's coming. Trust me. People will say that. But then once you get to a point where, you are grounded, you know everything, you about that, you are good at that, people will change. They'll start to come and say, hey, can you show me how to do that? Absolutely. And that's how I like to do it. Will I charge you? We'll talk. Listen, like these, subscribe to my channel. My name is Larry James. My company is Speak with Larry. And I'll see you guys on the next video.